I'm a member of the club. My name is Vander Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. So before I talk about the club, I went out today to the shop to go grab something, a little treat for myself. You know, I'm still home alone. The 2 terrorists are coming back now. They're on the way. I've been talking to them. And so I hit out and boom, all the shops are closed. Hey, what's up with this? I forgot, and I even spoke about it here. Today is a public holiday in Poland. We are celebrating the 3 kings. So, you know, when Jesus was in the stable, there was like 3 dudes who rocked up and they gave him presents. Those are 3 kings, and we are celebrating their arrival. And so it's important, and we stay home. The South African forgot about it. But for me, of course, I'm working on United States time and had a lot to do today, meetings, blah, blah, blah. So it was refreshing to get out and actually see nothing, just chilled vibes going on. So it was kind of a good feeling. But yeah, that's what we're celebrating today. And then talking about the club, why am I talking about the club? So I got an invite from a friend to join this new social network that kind of is based on audio. So it's audio conversations with groups of people, little clubs, clubhouses. A lot has been discussed of where this network is going to go or not. But I was talking to my friend Jonathan today. We had a quick catch up after not being able to speak to each other. And I said to him, listen, Jono's from the Caribbean. He also jumped in recently there. And I said to him, I don't know why it is, but like I always end up, because I put the app next to me and then I can listen to these conversations. But I always end up listening to conversations mostly from people in the Black community in the United States. I don't know why the app is like suggesting that to me, but I end up being a fly in the wall in these conversations, and I actually love it because it's so refreshing to be able to listen, because, you know, I don't feel comfortable talking about a lot of the topics and I don't know enough. So my big mouth, unlike in this podcast, is forced to be shut, and I need to listen. Use my ears, the things that you should be using when you want to improve yourself. And I'm listening to these conversations. Yes, I agree with some of the stuff. I get tons of insights on things that I didn't, you know, I get to know people, you know, how people think and how they feel, more importantly. So it's been really cool. I mean, not all of it. I mean, some of it's a bit kumbaya, but then there's also a lot of things that are really cool and insightful. But I'm going on. So what did I learn today? So one of the participants in the conversation today, and they were referring to the elections currently going on in Georgia. So they flipped one seat over to the Democrats. So crossing fingers, I don't know the results for the others one yet. But basically, Biden's life is going to be much easier if they can flip both seats and then control the Senate. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, right? But what this person pointed out is that no matter what happens, is that even throughout the changes that happened by activating all kinds of voters in the current election, even when they got Obama in and Obama became president, one of the big mistakes that happened there, for example, is that people then let go of the process. Okay, cool, he's in, let's sit back, let's go sail, let's have a good time, let's just do our thing. Take our eye off the ball. And we're not keeping people accountable, you know, and being involved in the political process and the conversations up until the next election or whatever. And what he said is that whatever happens now, the change will only happen or continue to happen if everybody stays involved in the political process. So you're out in the streets, you're holding people accountable that you voted for. You're actively also doing some things yourself, like maybe joining committees in your local community, you know, working in the community to create the change that you want to see, not sitting back and waiting for some dude somewhere in the high office to action that. Of course, that's a tall ask, but I think that is a huge insight and something that perhaps we also need to consider here in Poland. We also have 2 parties. Most of the Polish folks that I speak to, you know, it's very polarized. Like, I know exactly all my friends who are more liberally slanted, how they feel about the current party, who is kind of really authoritarian, going into the right side of things that is not cool. And but they don't necessarily want to be participating in the opposition party, for example, because there's also a bunch of dodgy things happening over there. And unfortunately, like listening to the conversations today is that rather than creating a whole new house for yourself of revolution and trying to clean that house, you have to be in this house, the current house, and then start cleaning up that house. And how do you start cleaning up a dirty house? Well, you start somewhere and start sweeping, right? It might be a mammoth task, but at some stage it can become cleaner, I think. But I'm adding my own stuff now. I think the big insight there is to remain active and remain talking about these things, trying to drive change and not sitting back. And I thought that was a really cool insight that I took away. Thank you, Clubhouse. Jonathan just laughed and he said, "Yeah, it's because you're friends with me, Vanner. I'm getting on into the black side of Clubhouse." And maybe that is a good thing. Gives me a bit of an insight and teaches me a few things to shut up and listen. And maybe I need to shut up now and give you some of your time back. I'll leave you with this little anecdote from today. It started happening today. Francie is now in the car with Martha on the way back. And I get a phone call. And Martha says hello. And I didn't even get to speak to her. She hands the phone to Francie because Francie asked that she phones me because he wants to talk to me. So he was pushing the phone against up the window. I had to go look at some of the snow on the road because there's some snow in some of the outskirts. And then later on, I also phoned back and I said to Martha, "Listen, I want to speak to Francie." And we had a full-on conversation on the phone. So, of course, we were just waffling on about different things, but it was really cool. I love the idea that he actually wanted to phone me and have a conversation. And it's these small little things that really make me feel, man, life's good. So hopefully you can find something small in your life for today that will make you feel good. And then don't forget, listen more, but also get involved. Do things. And now I'm going to give you time back so you can go and do things. Thanks for listening.